What's good? Going for a little evening bike ride. Oh, okay, what's good, Faded Gene? I see you got a different... Somebody let me know how the connection is. I don't know why it's tripping, but it's very, very interesting that lately when I try to do a live, the connection, look at my buddy, look at my buddy, look at my buddy. What's up, buddy? It's very interesting that the connection is always acting up when I try to do a live. It's okay now, okay? It's okay right now. Cool. Hold on. I'm gonna ride by this old asylum real quick. Hold on. Where am I riding? Up here. Hold on. And then I'll find a little spot to... this video was gonna originally be longer, but I just want to share with y'all something that took place. And yep, Elmwood. And just something that maybe you can take some advice from if you have kids, especially if you have children that are going to be driving soon. And I'll share that with you all in a little bit. There's the old abandoned asylum. Red Comic, I miss your comment. Thank you for tuning in. There's the old asylum. Somebody set a fire recently. I don't know if y'all caught that live I did. I've been watching your videos. I like your channel. Do you have a contact info page? You know I'm not hard to find, but I've gotten rid of a lot of my social media, which I'll be talking about why I've done that. I'll be talking more about that soon. But I can tell you social media is just very, very toxic. And I can't really get into it right now, but I will explain later. I mean, I have my Twitter at DavyVara, V-A-R-A. You can get at me on there. I don't really want to put my email out here now because there's a lot of trolls that's always watching. What's good? Yeah, right, says he's watching. Yeah, I'm not sure why, my brother. I'm not sure why that is. Hold on, let me turn around here. Let me turn around real quick. Hold on, let me stop for a minute. Hold on. Let me try to flip this. What's good, everybody? Okay, we got a little crowd watching. Let me read some of these comments. Do you ever go near the subway? It's pretty cool over there. What's good? Yeah, I mean, I have in the past. I don't think I've ever done it like for the live, for YouTube. Who's killing the fucking birds? What's good, Michael? I'm not sure, my brother. I wish I had that answer for you. I wish I had that answer. But it's very disturbing. I'm assuming you saw the videos I did, right? So, yes, the birds, please update soon. I mean, as far as update, they were talking about it on the Kimberly and Beck Show on radio. There's one of Rochester's finest right there. So anyways, they were talking about it on the radio. Let me take some screenshots here. I've been getting the modifications. You are live. Notification. What's good? Aronicoi, what's good? I wanted to share something with y'all. And again, this video is kind of going to be a little bit all over the place. Originally, this video was kind of my response to Rochester, or was supposed to be my response to Rochester, New York Mayor Lovely Warren and the new Rochester, New York Police Chief, LaRon Singletary. And just their hypocrisy and two-facedness, and just, you know, she's the puppet master, puppeteer, He's the puppet kind of thing. But I'm not really going to get into that too much, because there was an incident last night, and I kind of want to jump into this, especially for the viewers who have children who are like driving age. So basically, there was an incident last night. My son was coming from work, and I'm not going to give the exact location or whatever, because again, there's a lot of disturbed individuals on here, trolls, but just suffice it to say that my son was coming from work. He's a good kid. He's doing good in school. Has never, and I repeat, never has he had any kind of police contact whatsoever. Nothing. And it just really disturbs me, because he's a kid that does the right thing. I've taught him respect. You know, no one's a perfect father. I don't care what anyone says. No one's a perfect mother. But I've tried my best to teach him respect. And in fact, specifically when it comes to police officers, you know, it's no secret. They know what I'm passionate about. They know what's happened with my family, what's happened with my dad. They know the story like any of you do. But even still, you know, I've taught them to always be respectful. I've taught them if I respect First Amendment, all the videos. Thank you, Dreamstar. Appreciate it. I've taught him that even if he did and does have any kind of contact, like happened last night, ironically, to always be respectful. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And this is something that I want all of you, please, to tell your loved ones, your children, especially if they're driving age, or even use for yourself as advice. You will never win with a police officer. You will never win with a cop on the side of the road. Never. You can only make matters worse. Wait, Davy V, what are you saying? That I should let them violate my rights and trample all over my civil liberties? I'm not saying that necessarily, or I wouldn't say it like that. But again, read my lips, right? Who said that? George Bush? No new taxes? Was it George Bush? Read my lips. You will never win with a cop on the side of the road. What does that mean, Davy V? Break it down so we really understand what you're talking about. Cooperate. That's what it means. Be respectful. I'll even go as far as putting the word try in there. Try to be respectful. Again, you won't win. Even if you feel, and this is the hardest part, it's hard for everyone. Even if you know that what's happening, whether you're falsely arrested, falsely detained, racially profiled, accused of something that you know you haven't done, as hard as it may be to maintain your composure and be respectful. Billy, hi Davey, much respect for what you do. Thank you, my brother. As hard as it may be to remain calm, to be respectful. Hey, mama. To someone who is, my neighbor's just walking by. She saw me on live, like, what the hell is he doing? He's talking into a phone. As hard as it may, hold on, I got to take a screenshot of that. I'll read that, Dreamstar, I promise, okay? I'm just in the zone right now, and these messages go off quick. So please don't think I'm blowing you off. I would never do that. I took a screenshot, and I will read it when I get off, okay? Promise. As hard as it may feel, as hard as it may be to remain composed and respectful when you know that you're dealing with a bully, thug, gang-like mentality and behavior of a rogue, abusive cop who has that self-entitled and that abuse of power, of abusing his power that he has been entrusted with, that he has taken or she has taken a sworn oath, right? You have to do it. There's no other way around it. You have to do it. Your life could be in danger if you choose to do otherwise. Do not choose to do otherwise. Be respectful. Turn that frustration that you may have at a moment of a traffic stop where you're being accused of something, or where you're being profiled, or where you tell them that you don't consent to search and they start ripping out your fucking seats. Turn that into positive energy by channeling that frustration and becoming sharp. Absolutely, we the people. And becoming sharp and taking notes, such as the name of the officer, the time you were stopped at. All simple things, but they become a blur and they go out the window when the emotions start growing, right? The fear of, oh my God, I'm being stopped. I'm surrounded by armed thugs, right? Let's be real about it. Let's fuck the bullshit, right? Channel that energy and channel it in a positive way to document everything as much as you can. If you have a phone, everybody usually tell me, haven't heard it in a while, but they used to say, Davy V, how about if I'm not comfortable pointing the camera at them? Don't point the camera at them. You ain't got to do it Davy V style. Put the phone down. Put the phone down somewhere where no one sees it. I don't care if it's a boring video of the dome light in your vehicle. Let me write a little bit. I don't care if it's a boring video of the dome light in your car or a picture of the dirty carpet, right? I'm not saying your carpet's dirty, but mine is, right? In the car. As long as you have audio, right? So you want, exactly, always record. Yes, sir, absolutely. So channel that energy in a positive way and use it to document, hello, sir, and use it to document as much as you can, but never allow them to press those buttons that they love to press when they go fishing. Sorry that my face is all up in the camera. So let me go back to explaining what happened, and you'll see why I'm upset. So he was stopped. He was a passenger in the car that his brother was driving, okay? Very respectful young man. My stepson, I can call him. Even though I'm no longer with his mom, it is a kid that I literally cut his umbilical cord. I was there when he was born. So what happened was they were stopped. He had a tail light out. So my son wasn't driving. My son was, how you doing, man? My son was the passenger in the car. And they were stopped by 2 RPD officers. It was late at night. Again, I'm not going to get into the details or location, but they were stopped. And it was a female officer and a male officer. The male officer approached the passenger side. From what I understand, the female officer was very professional, was courteous, even told my stepson to basically get the light fixed, and there was no issue with her. But of course, the male testosterone takes over. And let's be honest, guys, for all the guys watching this video or the girls that maybe have an opinion, you know, that macho shit sets in. And you combine that with a gun on your hip and a taser on the other side, and these motherfuckers don't know how to act or respect anyone, but yet they claim they want respect and they want the community to work with them, right? And they want the community's trust and the community's cooperation, which is total bullshit, as you soon will see. So the officer asked my son for ID, and my son is a very educated young man, very smart. And he basically very nicely tells the officer, why do you need my ID? Now, for those of you that don't know, unless there's probable cause that a crime has been committed, is being committed, or is about to be committed, especially if you're a passenger in not driving, you do not have to provide ID, okay? Again, my son was the passenger. But after a couple times of the cop demanding the ID, I've taught my kids to be professional, courteous, respectful. My son gave him the ID. As soon as the cop looked at the ID, and my son did screw up. My son didn't get the name of the officer, which is something that I'm working on right now as we speak. But when my son gave him the ID, as soon as the cop looked at the ID and saw the name Vara, he yelled at my son, any warrants, Vara? And that's the part that really pisses me off right there. Let me get by here. My neighbor, hold on there. She's walking. On your left. Nice night, huh? Beautiful. And this is the part that pisses me off, because I know I'm skipping around a little bit here, but the mayor And the new RPD chief, Laurent Singletary, just had a press conference yesterday about the cop that was fired from the RPD for breaking a man's face, for fracturing a man's face, Christopher Pate. And the mayor, which is the puppet master, right? And the chief, which is the puppet, both were in unison and in one accord when they said that hopefully there's no other officers like Sipple on the RPD, and that won't be tolerated, and that kind of treatment will not be allowed, and that kind of treatment by officers of citizens will not be tolerated. And all of a sudden, guess what? It is tolerated, and it is allowed, and it does continue because it happened to my son last night. So here's the thing. Apparently, the Rochester, New York Police Department believes that because a person, and it's no secret my son is African American and Latino, okay? Apparently the RPD and their thug rogue cops, which continue, Sipple was just one of many on the force who are rogue, who racially profile minorities on a daily basis, who have no respect for minorities, no respect for citizens, who think the worst of citizens, who falsely accuse citizens, who profile citizens. So apparently this officer, as soon as he saw my son's ID, and obviously recognized the last name, immediately asked my son, "Any warrants, Vara?" Why? If you are the officer who asked my son this and you're watching this now, why? Why would you ask my son that? Is it because he's black? Is it because he's Latino? Why? Why would you assume that a young man coming from work, doing the right thing, doing good in school, about to graduate, why? Explain that to me. Why? Would you have treated my son the same had he been a white kid in the passenger seat? Would your first question to my son, had he been a white kid, would it have been, "Any warrants, Vara?" And Chief Singletary, you're a man, right? You are. I understand that the mayor controls your every move. Trust me, we all know that. There are a lot of people in this community asleep, sir, but there are a lot of people awake, fully awake. And they know what's up. And people are waking up, sir. But let me ask you something. I don't know if you have children, but let me ask you something, sir. As the youngest chief in RPD history, as a man who claims to denounce this type of thug, abusive, rogue behavior on the part of your cops, Chief Singletary, do you condone that type of a grown man addressing a young man, especially a young man who has never been in trouble with the law, a young man who is doing the right thing, sir, a young man who was coming from work, sir, a young man who wasn't even driving, sir? Is that what you teach your officers, sir? Let's keep it real, like my generation says. You're younger than me, sir, but I think you also used that saying, right, growing up? Keep it real. Or perhaps I'll give you a compliment. Since you're quite a bit younger than I am, maybe you are more comfortable with the new term. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. Isn't that what the new generation says? Chief Singletary, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. Is that what you train your officers to do, sir? So is everything else that you're talking about in front of the cameras, is it just lip service? Sir? Or do you stand by your word, sir, as a man? Are you a man of conviction, Chief Singletary? You are a man, correct, sir? I'm not on here trying to call you on your manhood, but I'm a man talking to another man, correct, sir? So I'm asking you, sir, Are you a man of conviction? Are you a man of principle? Are you a man who is really fit to lead a police force of 800 officers, a police force with a dark, disturbing history in this city of abusing and killing unarmed, innocent, mentally ill blacks and Latinos, sir? Are you fit to do this job, sir? Or are you only fit to do the job when your boss, the mayor, tells you to speak? As you know, I've reached out to you, sir, on social media. I've reached out to you on my Twitter page, asking you to look into this. And I very kindly asked you and told you that I await a reply from you, sir. Because I can tell you this. There is no way that you will ever convince me that the proper way for a grown man, a police officer, who has sworn to uphold the Constitution of this great country, there is no way, Chief Singletary, that you will ever convince me that the way that this man, a grown man, spoke to my son, a minor, is appropriate, sir. There is no way that you will ever convince me of that, sir. So I ask you, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm saying it here in front of all my viewers. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give Chief Singletary an opportunity to do the right thing. Ironically, that's the name of some awards that the RPD gives out, right? To young kids, doing the right thing. And that's the contradiction right there. You want the youth to do the right thing. You want the youth to be respectful and to grow into respectful adults, productive adults, law-abiding citizens, right? But yet, is that the impression that you teach your officers to leave on a young, impressionable mind? A young, impressionable mind of a minor who is still being formed, whose opinions and outlooks on life are still being formed, who's experiencing things for the first time, who's experiencing what it is to have the responsibility of showing up to work and of doing the right thing at work and of being a hard, responsible, dependable employee. Is that, Chief Singletary, what you teach your officers when they go out in the streets of Rochester, New York, and interact with young minds, with young folks, with young people who are starting out their lives? Are you serious? After one of your officers just broke a black man's face and laughed, and one of your other cops who was never charged and is still on the force told another cop, put your foot on him, like he was an animal? Because that's what the mayor said. Unless they were crocodile tears, the mayor looked like she was about to break down. I know, it was all an act. You're not fooling me. I'm being sarcastic here. I know the real deal. But that's the show she put for the cameras. She even summoned her relatives from the South and said that she's been through it and her relatives been through it. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that story then. Let's go with that narrative that y'all did for the cameras. Let's go with that. Yeah, that's what you guys put out there. Let's go with it. Let's roll right with it. So let me get this straight. On one hand, you denounce the actions of Officer Michael Sipple, who Judge Thomas Morris, a fair judge, found guilty. On one hand, you denounce his actions, but on the other hand, you approve of your officers profiling and asking young people if they have warrants over a simple traffic stop for a taillight out? Look, let's cut the bullshit. Educated, informed, awakened folks out here, especially right now watching, know that that is the biggest police tactic you guys use. You're fishing with the hopes that because my son is a minority, hey, He must have a warrant. He's black. He's got to have a warrant. A warrant, Chief. Has never had contact with law enforcement. And you know what's sad, Chief? And I'll end this video here. You know what's really sad, Chief? And by the way, I don't parade in front of cameras like you guys. I'll tell you man to man, face to face, or right here on YouTube, or you catch me off YouTube and I'm the same person. I don't change for the camera. But you know what's really sad, sir? What's really sad is this. What's really sad is that the first interaction that my son, again, a young, impressionable mind just starting out in life, the first interaction he has with one of your officers, the first thing he ever hears out of the mouth of one of your cops is, "Any warrants, Vara?" Those 3 words. You should be ashamed of yourself, Chief, to lead a department of cops like Michael Sipple, because he wasn't the only one. Knock it off. Come on now. We know better than that. You should be ashamed of yourself, sir, and so should the mayor, to lead a department of rogue, abusive, racist cops who disrespect the youth but then want respect in return, who treat the minority communities like shit, like animals, but then expect cooperation from citizens. Virtuals, please send that again. I missed it. Please send that again. My friend Virtual Frog from Florida, longtime supporter. You know, one of the hardest things, Chief, and I don't know if you can relate to this, again, and I'm sorry, I forget if you have children or not, sir. One of the hardest things is we teach our children to do the right thing, right? Isn't that our job as parents, right? Hold on, Virgil. I took a screenshot of that. I will read it, my friend. And we teach them to do the right thing, right? And to have respect for others, right? But then how do I explain to my son why your officer treated him that way? You know what my son asked him? "Wow, Pops." He makes me feel a little older. They call me Papa or Pops. I don't know if anyone can relate out there. They don't call me Dad. They call me Papa or Pops, which makes me feel 30 years older than I am. But you know what he told me? He said, "Pops, why would he think I had a warrant?" And one of the hardest things that a parent, mother or father, or any guardian, grandparent, aunt, uncle, but in this case, I'm his dad. One of the hardest things is, and I don't know if anyone can relate out there, is not necessarily having an answer, right? Or at least not having an answer just roll off your tongue when your child asks you, "Pops, why would he even think I had a warrant?" You should be ashamed of yourself, Chief, to lead a department. If you truly, and I don't know you, sir, but if you truly are a good man, sir, and if you truly mean good, and if you truly stand by your words that you said in front of the television camera, sir, then certainly and surely you cannot condone this kind of behavior by your officers. But please don't try to fool people by telling them that Michael Sipple was the only one, like the mayor tried. I know you got to go with her flow. I understand she's your boss, and you got to be like, "Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." But we don't buy that. Those of you like me who have been doing this about 25 years, the son of a second generation son of a police accountability activist, Mario Vara, we know better. Shameful, shameful, Chief, shameful, shameful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.